Can you drink alcohol and still lose weight? Of course you can. Don't ever think for a second that I would tell you to give that up in order to reach your fitness goals. You don't need to give up anything in order to reach your goals, but you need to be smart about it, because if you make dumb decisions, it'll lead to dumb outcomes. And I'm not just talking about fitness, nutrition related things. But of course, that's what we're gonna focus on today. Here are 5 ways to still be able to drink alcohol while losing weight. Number 1, know when the juice is worth the squeeze. Now, you don't have to completely give up alcohol in order to lose weight, but you can't binge drink multiple nights a week and expect to still see results. I know. Honestly, maybe if you're in university and you go to a party school, circle back on this video once you graduate. I'm kidding. What I mean by is the juice worth the squeeze is pick the nights where you think it's actually going to be worth it to drink alcohol and choose those to drink. I generally tell my clients to stick to no more than once a week. For example, let's say you're going out for dinner with a friend on a Thursday night, but then on Saturday night, it's your best friend's birthday and you're going out bar hopping. You don't need to have drinks with dinner on Thursday. Like, save the calories for the Saturday night. I think you can stick with food and then just water and a Coke Zero on the Thursday dinner. There's no need to drink during the week and the weekend, especially if you want to see results. Even if there's 2 things going on the weekend, like if your friends are having a board games night on a Friday and some people are having cans, but then on a Saturday, you're going to a beautiful winery and doing a wine tasting, like, you know which day to pick. This also goes hand in hand with the gym. Like, try to schedule your rest day the day after one of those big nights. I'll talk about this later though. You'll find that, especially as you get older, you know, my big age of 30, people don't care as much or at all really if you're drinking or not, as long as you're still having a good time. Number 2 is work smarter, not harder. Look, if your goal is just to get a buzz, you can achieve this with vodka sodas. You don't need like Long Island iced teas. Not all drinks are created equal. Those sugary cocktails have way more calories than just like a simple bar rail with mixer. If you're trying to lose weight, the last thing you want to do is waste calories on juice that's like not going to do anything and it's not going to fill you up. What I always suggest is getting a shot of vodka or tequila with a 0-calorie mixer. I personally choose Coke Zero or like Diet Coke just because vodka soda kind of tastes gross, but vodka soda is fine too, or like any other 0-calorie drink. This clocks in at about 90 calories, which is pretty good. Like, that's pretty much the lowest calorie alcoholic, like, one standard drink you can find. Nowadays, most bars also have those like canned mixed drinks, like a White Claw or Nude, and those clock in at about 100 calories. I actually prefer these to the standard mixed drinks because I feel like they're taller and they take more time to drink. Like, there's more liquids, then that way you're less likely to reach for another drink as quickly. I guess like straight shots are also an option. Or if that's not your thing, a light beer, I think those are around 100 calories. Or even a glass of white wine, that can usually, like a 5-ounce glass, that can usually range from like around 100 to 130 calories if you want to keep things classier. Now, I always say if it's like a special occasion or you're feeling spicy, starting off the night with one cocktail, like espresso martini, spicy marg, those are my favorite, and then switching to the 0-calorie mixers after, like, that's totally fine too. You just gotta know, you know, when the juice is worth the squeeze. Number 3 is limiting junk food, or getting rid of it entirely if you can. I know university me would not like to hear that. A lot of the times it's not the alcohol that's the culprit of the weight gain, it's what comes after. Obviously, we know food tastes way better when you're drunk. That's no secret. And yeah, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I used to be a big drunk eater when I was in university. Like, I'm talking, sometimes I would go out drinking when I didn't even feel like it, just so I could get drunk food after. Like a large poutine or like an entire tray of nachos to myself. Pizza, sometimes like half of a large pizza. Drunk food is often when like hunger cues go out the window because everything just tastes so good and we're like ravenous. The problem with this is oftentimes now not have we only consumed extra calories from the alcohol, but then also consumed like a day's worth of calories sometimes in one sitting if we go crazy on the drunk food, or even like half a day. Even if you stick to your deficit during the week, but then you're one of those like weekend warriors that goes crazy on Friday or Saturday nights, you could end up accidentally being in maintenance, or worse, even in like a slight surplus, depending on how far you take it. The ways that you can prevent this are eating before you go out, like just eating dinner before you leave the house, just so you're not at the bars dreaming about leaving and getting a giant poutine. Also, having a small snack to come home to rather than like going out and buying junk food. For example, what I would try to do in university when I was trying to get over my drunk eating problem was come home and make like a small grilled cheese for 250 calories or have a protein bar. That way, if you're hungry, you're not gonna like go to bed starving and have trouble falling asleep, but you're not gonna go overboard. Also, a lot of you are not gonna like this, especially those of you that are younger, but the best way to not go overboard on the drunk eating is to also like not go overboard on the drinking. Like the more you drink, the more likely it's gonna be that you slip up in more ways than one. I would always ask myself on a night out, is the juice worth the squeeze? That phrase is coming back. And honestly, you know, sometimes if it's a really fun night out or if it's a special occasion, yeah, the juice is worth the squeeze. But if you're doing this every single weekend, it's really gonna hinder your progress. So just keep that in mind. Tip number 4 is calorie cycling. So for a lot of people that work 9 to 5 or they're in school during the week, it's way easier to stick to your deficit during the week because typically your schedule is more predictable and you have like less social plans that revolve around alcohol or food. But then as I mentioned in the previous point, with some people, all rules go out the window on the weekends and they end up being a weekend warrior. And this is where a lot of people screw themselves over. So many of my clients use something called calorie cycling to help with this. Now, what do I mean by that? Basically, it means eating slightly less calories during the week in order to bank more calories for the weekend. So for example, let's say my maintenance calories are 2,500, so I eat 2,000 per day in order to be in a 500 calorie per day deficit. Maybe I would want to eat 1,900 calories Sunday through Thursday in order to bank an extra 500 calories for Friday and Saturday, maybe even 1,900 calories Sunday through Friday in order to bank 600 calories for Saturday night. It just depends on like whatever you have going on the weekend. Like that example where you have your best friend's birthday on the Saturday night, maybe I want to have an extra 600 calories to save for drinks, just so I don't have to eat like 1,500 calories that day in order to save the extra 500 calories for alcohol. Like eating 1,900 calories on the other days would be way easier than that, personally, for me. You can also base it on the days that you're less hungry. Like let's say you're less hungry at the beginning of the week, you can maybe eat a little bit less and then save calories for the end of the week. I would just recommend not going super low. Like don't eat like 1,000 calories Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because then you're just gonna be ravenous and like go overboard on the other days. I would honestly say in the example I just used, maybe don't go below 1,800 calories on the other days. But yeah, this is a great option to have. Honestly, I feel like not a lot of people know about it. It doesn't work for everyone, but it's worked for me in every single deficit that I've done. And finally, tip number 5, this is a shorter one, but schedule your workouts accordingly. And I kind of spoke about this a little bit in the first point. Let's say you normally have 1 rest day per week, like that's what I do. I would try to schedule that rest day the day after you kind of had that bigger night of drinking, because this will allow you to actually enjoy the night and like stay out a bit later and just not have to worry about getting up and doing the workout the next day and it just not being your best. And then you can recover accordingly and actually use that as a true rest day, rot day, whatever you want to have. But if this isn't possible, I would say in general, make sure not to sacrifice, you know, your nights out for a workout. Like for example, if you normally go to Friday happy hour after work, make sure to do the workout in the morning and not just like skip your workout because you want to go out drinking. Also, another way to like not miss your workouts, like let's say you have to work out after a night of drinking, I would try to maybe schedule a workout class, so then that way if you don't go, you have to pay the cancellation fee, and then that causes you to hopefully not skip it. Obviously, working out the night after drinking, it usually isn't gonna be as effective, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope these tips were helpful. If they were, then I'm sure you'll enjoy my video on calorie deficit tips. So I will link that up here so you can watch that next. And please be sure to give this a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, as it really helps the channel and I post new videos every week. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.